In Space Station 14, thieves can sometimes be tasked with stealing a station pet, and not all pets can actually be picked up. For example, I have to steal Walter, but if I just left click Walter, well, obviously I can't pick him up because he is a big dog, can't be picked up in normal methods. The way the game considers the pet stolen is literally if it's in your hands, and what that means is that if you're dragging it, that's considered in your hands and will be considered stolen. You can go a little bit further with this. If you put Walter or whatever pet you have to steal in a locker, well, see, it's not stolen. But if I grab the locker, it's stolen again. That means you can actually get something like a pet carrier, which you can order at Cargo. And you can pick this up in your hand, and if you press Z and then press Z again over an animal, well, now it's technically in your hands carried and stolen. So that gives you a little bit more leeway to actually get away with stealing a pet. You can also always go a step further where you can literally put the pet in a locker and then weld it. So that way people can't mess with it. But the issue is that the pet needs to be alive, and they will eventually suffocate in a locker that's welded. So that's probably not the greatest option. But in the case of Walter, you can actually give Walter internals. So depending on the pet, that could be a viable option, but it won't be viable for all pets. I guess you could always just wait till you see them start gasping and then let them out and then put them back in. But other people might be more suspicious of that. I feel like the pet carrier is probably one of your best bets. Another option you have is you can always take the smuggler's kit, because the smuggler's kit actually gives you an invisible box. And with the invisible box, you can essentially steal an animal in plain sight and just kind of leave it there. I wouldn't even weld it at this point because it isn't all that easy to see. Problem is, though, if you drag it too quickly, you start revealing it, so getting it to evac might be somewhat difficult, but it's just another possible option here. There is some confusion about how to actually steal the pet, though. Due to the fact that thieves are required to escape to CENTCOM alive and unrestrained, that means you have to bring the pet to evac, and this causes a lot of confusion across the board for all objectives. If you drop the objective, which if you're standing up, FTLing will force stun you on the ground, meaning you'll drop whatever's in your hand and let go of whatever you're dragging. So technically, when you FTL, you will no longer be in possession of Walter. For example, I'll just launch the shuttle, and if I'm not sitting down, see, I got knocked down, and I am no longer green texted. So one of the only ways that appears that you can actually green text is if you actually have the pet in a pet carrier. I've tested having the pet. I've tested having the pet buckled next to a chair, just in your hands in general. It seems like none of that actually works. As far as I'm aware, the only way to actually properly green text on the shuttle is if they're in a pet carrier and you're sitting down and don't fall over. Mag boots would work as well, just anything that prevents you from falling over from the FTL. So yeah, I've tested a bunch of different methods, and it seems like the only way to properly green text stealing an animal is if it's in a pet carrier and you are either sitting down or have mag boots turned on. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I tried having the pet buckled. I tried just having them grabbed. I tried having them in a locker. None of that seems to work. It seems like the pet carrier is the only way that it works. And yeah, just to double confirm, I had the locker grabbed, but FTLing forces you to ungrab things. So again, as far as I'm aware, the only way to successfully green text stealing a pet is if you have a pet carrier, at least while on the shuttle. Otherwise, I mean, you could just drag them and be on the station, but then you'll fail to escape alive. So I'm pretty confident the only way to complete both the stealing and pet objective and escaping is a pet carrier. If anyone else knows how, please let me know, but I'm not aware of any other way. Other than that, this is also a general guide for stealing anything in general, but stealing items is a lot easier because you can just put it in your backpack. You don't have to drag it or just have it in your hand and make sure you're not going to fall over. But anyways, that's all I got for now. Thank you for watching.